actually, we're based here. This is our only location.
Oh, really?
We just actually opened our doors right at the start of April. So it's, yeah, we're still little wee babes, but yeah, business has been great though. We have this location, and then we also have just a few miles down the road. We have a warehouse operation that ships all of our online orders. So, we have our retail shop obviously here, and then we have, the bulk of our business though is online orders from, we ship nationally out of that warehouse. So. Well, we have a sister company actually called Cultured Media that I used to be the marketing director of, and we run a lot of the bigger like beer blogs actually, and forums and things like that, like homebrewtalk.com. Quite a few sites. We're running right now about 26 different sites, I believe, somewhere around there, and they're all focused on like wine, beer and things like that. So it's, the fermentable category really. So for us, we were running that. A lot of those sites have been in existence for like 10, over a decade, and really, really popular. Lots of viewers. So we were real involved in the brewing community by proxy of that. Just owning all those sites. So we were a big part of that. So for us, like the next logical step was to open our own, physical retail shop, and then obviously we got into the online ordering, and we all came from a pretty strong web background. So yeah, developing our website was a big thing for us. So. We did a lot of cool things that a lot of the other guys weren't doing. Like we have a recipe builder that we designed ourselves on site, where people can customize and tweak their own recipes and save it to their profile, all that good stuff. And yeah, it's been going great though. It's been growing very, very quickly. Just ever since we opened, like I said, it's only been since April, so you could be, happier with the growth so far. Yeah, we do, on the second Saturday of each month, we do beer camp is what we call it. So people come out and, we'll do like an introduction to brewing courses where we'll go over like extract brewing, or and then the next time we might do all grain brewing. So typically with brewing, there's a few different ways you can brew. Most beginners are starting out with extract brewing. And whereas most people, they start out with extract brewing, then they'll move into what's called all grain brewing, or brew in a bag is another type. So it's really those three types of brewing that we deal with pretty much. So,
all right.
But yeah, we'll teach all three different methods out here actually on this back deck. And we're just trying to kind of spearhead the local events. I know, just Friday we're part of the Wassail Walk as well. So we'll be serving wassail and wine out of here as well, and. Just local event planning and things like that, which we're going to be getting heavier into next year after the new season hits. And so yeah, just teaching new brewers, having things like like our Savco system, which is that commercial system we have. Most people can't really afford a system like that, and that's what a lot of the commercial breweries use for like their test and pilot batches. So they get a chance to come out here. They, we don't charge anything. They just sign up for it. They can come brew on a, grade A system. We'll kind of supervise and help them along. I'm sure you've probably seen that in action if you've been here for like beer camp and whatnot. But yeah, so just things like that, beer camp. We're planning. We've been actually talking to some of the local businesses here too, and we're wanting to organize some other things like like kind of block parties, centered around craft beer and things like that. Hopefully next year we were thinking about doing something for like a little Oktoberfest festival and things like that. So just, as many events that we can get planned and get the community to be a part of, the better, so. Yeah, for sure. Those are gonna, especially going into next year, that'll be a heavy focus for us, because with the websites, like I was saying, we were a big part of the brewing community, which one of our sites in particular, homebrewtalk.com, is actually the largest website in the entire brewing world. It's millions of people every month get on that site. So we were knee deep in that, knew pretty much everybody in the business and whatnot. And the brewing community, it's just a really cool group of people. You couldn't find better human beings out there. I don't know what it is, but literally, I don't think there's been a single person that's walked through the doors and we haven't totally fallen head over heels in love with. So it's just a really cool community. Just of people who are have the same interests. Everybody obviously loves beer. So it's just a great community to be a part of. I'm a hophead, so typically IPAs, but I'm a big fan of Belgian triples as well, and things like that. Really, the bigger, bolder taste, and anything with a lot of hops, kind of hop bitterness. And, yeah, so yeah, I would say IPA is for sure like my favorite style of beer. It's typically what I'll brew. Depends on the recipe, but typically you're looking at, for all grain batch for brewing, like on our Sabco system. A big part of brewing is like the cleaning and sanitizing, so that takes up a good chunk of time. But typically it'll take us about like 5-6 hours to get our brew done. But then you're going through, anywhere from like a 2 to 4 week fermentation period, depending on the recipe. And then, once that's done, you're either kegging or bottling, and that's pretty much done after that point. So it just depends. It varies from recipe to recipe. Honestly, I guess besides just the community, like the people that you'll run into that are brewers are just awesome human beings. Just the diversity. Like, you can only find so many different styles of beer on the shelves, whereas like our recipe database that we run also, that alone has like about 250,000 different recipes, for different types of beer. It's just, the options are limitless, really, like on what you can create. And, it's really all about like getting your base beers down, your favorite styles, and then you can kind of take those and make them your own. So that's a lot of fun. Just kind of, having your own personal flair in every recipe, and just it's very, very similar to cooking.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people compare it to. And it's I know a lot of people get somewhat intimidated whenever they come through our doors and see all the really complicated looking equipment that we have. They think you need to be a scientist or a biologist or something just to be able to brew a beer. But really, if you can cook, you can brew. So it's very, very easy. But yeah, it's really like all the different choices, and the brewing community itself is just such an awesome thing. It's really those two, I would say. Well, I mean, a lot of people, if you're a beer fan, you're going and buying it off the shelves, and obviously you have a limited choice there. It's also a lot cheaper if you actually, after your initial purchase of the gear that you need to brew, that'll last you a lifetime in most cases. And the cost of like brewing like a 5-gallon batch, which is about 48.52 12-ounce bottles, you might be looking $20 to $40 tops for a recipe, as opposed to $10 a 6-pack. So whenever you do the math, it's a lot cheaper to do that as well. Plus, just even if it doesn't taste better, if you make it yourself, it's one of those things. I don't know, maybe it's the taste of pride or whatever. It tastes better. It's just something. Once you take that sip of your first batch of beer that you make, and it's actually drinkable in most cases anyway, unless you get an infection or something, which is actually pretty rare. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's kind of a pride thing. Just same as if you're you spend a lot of time cooking a really nice meal. And you can either cook that and you're eating it at your own home, or you're going out and getting it to eat. You're probably you have that bit of pride whenever you make it yourself. So I guess that's a big part of it. It's an awesome. It's a lot of fun. If someone who hasn't ever brewed before, they come in, we're start teaching new brewers all the time. So we're pretty much every day we're creating a new brewer out there. So it's just a lot of fun. It's something really fun to do with your friends and family, and and yeah, and it's a great community to be a part of.